Tory MPs have joined Venezuelan politicians in condemning the upcoming visit by the royals to Cuba, warning it could appear as an endorsement of the dictatorship regime which is accused of torturing political prisoners in crisis-hit Venezuela.
One MP questioned how it could be right for Prince Charles and the Duchess of Cornwall to suck up to Cuban communists who are propping up a president whom the UK, the US and dozens of other countries have recognized as an illegitimate leader.
In a letter addressed to the Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt, Andrew Luer said it would be quite wrong to bestow our blessing on this brutality by carrying on with this royal visit.
Royal shock, Meghan Markle to sue over Thomas Markle letter. Meghan Markle given henna tattoo during Morocco engagement with Harry. The Tory backbencher cited the Organization of American States, a forum for political discussions, who has said Cuba has 15,000 military and intelligence personnel stationed in Venezuela to preserve the Maduro dictatorship.
Mr. Luer, Cuban forces are actively involved in the torture of political prisoners in Venezuela and the violent suppression of peaceful protests.
The Tory chairman of the Defense Committee, Julian Lewis, said Foreign Office Minister recently denounced the Maduro regime as thieves who stole freedom from the Venezuelan people.
So how can it be right to send senior royals to suck up to the Cuban communists on whom Maduro depends? Mr. Hunt wrote on Twitter on January 26, after banning opposition candidates, ballot box stuffing and counting irregularities in a deeply flawed election, it is clear Nicolas Maduro is not the legitimate leader of Venezuela.
Juan Guaido is the right person to take Venezuela forward. If there are not fresh and fair elections announced within 8 days, the UK will recognize him as interim president to take forward the political process towards democracy.
The following week, Mr. Guaido was recognized by the UK as the nation's constitutional interim president.
Prince Harry should tell Meghan Markle what she is doing so wrong. Royal bombshell, Meghan Markle could face £330,000 tax bill. A member of the Popular Will Party, which Mr. Guaido leads, warned that the royal visit sends absolutely the wrong message at the current time.
Earlier this month, Clarence House announced that Charles, 70, and Camilla, 71, would visit the Caribbean from March 17 to 29.
The tour will take them to 6 countries, 10 islands and 1 overseas territory, the Cayman Islands.
Clarence House said at the request of the British government, their Royal Highnesses will also visit Cuba to highlight the growing bilateral relationship with the UK and showcase some of the cultural links between the two countries.
Some social media users responded with skepticism, with one tweeting, "I'd really like to know which sort of cultural links exist between the UK, a constitutional monarchy democracy, and Cuba, a socialist dictatorship."
I'm really curious about it. Another person added, "Dictatorships do not merit real visit."
It will be the first time members of the royal family visit Cuba, a nation of
5 million people. The criticism comes less than a week after U.S. President Donald Trump called on Venezuelan armed forces to cease putting their lives on the line for President Maduro, whom he referred to as a man controlled by the Cuban military and protected by a private army of Cuban soldiers.
As well as recognizing opposition leader Juan Guaido as the country's rightful president, the U.S. has sent a cargo plane full of humanitarian aid to the oil-rich nation.
Writing on Twitter, President Trump appealed to Venezuelan troops to end this nightmare of poverty, hunger and death, and urged them, "Let your people go and set your country free."
President Maduro responded by accusing the U.S. president of speaking in an almost Nazi style.
He said, "Who is the commander of the armed forces? Donald Trump from Miami. They think they are the owners of the country."
A Foreign Office spokesman said the visit opens the door to both positive collaboration and frank dialogue between the Cuban and British governments.